Lamar Jackson, okay, allegedly asking for $200 million guaranteed, at least, probably 231. If we had to guess because of what Deshaun Watson's deal is, that's the comps, that's how business is being done. Not Lamar's fault. That is not Lamar's fault.
No.
So Mike Greenberg comes on here earlier, and Mike Greeny said he missed you.
He did? Yeah, big time.
He said he'd call you right after if you wanted.
I need his number. I don't have it.
But he comes on, and he has a lot of connections. We'll send that over to you so you guys can FaceTime every morning or night. He comes on, and he says, this is clearly a message from the owners that we are not giving guaranteed contracts like what Deshaun Watson. That's what his thoughts were. He's in 2 Hall of Fames for broadcasting and covering basically the NFL, amongst other sports, but the NFL butters the bread. Everybody knows that. So he's thinking that that's the statement being made. That's clearly what it is, but there's only got to be one, right? There's only got to be one that hasn't tweeted, that hasn't told an insider. Yep. There's only got to be one team that's like Haslam, that's like, I don't give a fuck what these other, I would like to win right now, right? Are we still thinking that way? Or are we thinking there isn't going to be a market for Lamar, which is vastly confusing to fucking everyone? JJ talked about it. JJ Watt put out a tweet that's like, what the fuck is the deal? Numerous people put out tweets like, what the fuck is the deal? Is that what it is? Or are we thinking that there's like a silent almost
collusion type deal? Like like they don't even have to say it. Yeah, it definitely feels that way. My whole thing was how quickly these teams came out to say, hey, we are not going after him. And the only reason you ever do that, I feel like, is to protect the feelings of your starting quarterback you have there. If you don't want to make him feel weird, like, hey, we're going to go after these big-time players because we told you behind the scenes you're our franchise guy. But what, Carolina, they don't have a quarterback. They said they're out.
Right.
Atlanta, I guess, Ritter, are they trying to help Ritter? Like, what are they doing?
So not only did they just say they were out, they told every insider.
Yeah.
So, like, normally an insider will get one story, bang, it's out, and then there's, like, another one that's out, and it's, like, via this person. It was like all the insiders were like, checked with my sources, checked with our sources telling us this team definitely out. Like, they wanted that information as wide and as far as possible. Like, they wanted everybody to know we are not in. It was weird, Pac. It was a very weird. I don't think we've ever seen something like this before.
And this is the first time we've seen a player or a mother that's representing a player. Yeah. D-Hop just said today.
Yes, that seemed planned almost.
Oh, yeah.
D-Hop said earlier on here today, he said, guess what I did so I don't get shortchanged? I went and got me an agent.
Yep.
It seems like he's getting shortchanged. It's not because he can't play, and I truly think this is because who's representing him.
So we've always been a big proponent. I'm a massive advocate for people representing themselves. You can debunk a lot of things. You can cut out a lot of the traditional, this is how we do it. It's like, nope, that's not how I would like to do business. You can't do that. But you have to have self-awareness as well. You have to understand if you're getting fucked or if there's a chance that there is a massive opportunity waiting. I'm not saying that's the case with Lamar, because if Lamar's asking for $231 million, Lamar actually, they would write books about how he does business if it was to work out somewhere, because he's steadfast on his number. He had conviction in what he thought it was supposed to be. And maybe the way they were delivering the words or the message to people wasn't accurate, because you got to feather that stuff a little bit whenever you're talking about business in large amounts of money. And that's where I think that type of buffer is very beneficial. But I'm not against guys representing themselves either, but situations call for situational reactions. I love the fact that D-Hop was like, you know what? I'm fucking going to take care of my business here. If Lamar was to do the same thing, the most powerful agents in the world would line up in South Florida to be the agent.
For 0%.
Yes, probably for this deal, 0% is what they would say. We're working for future deals, merch deals, branding deals, everything like that. We'll agree with that. We'll take that. But I'm talking about like the most, because not only are they representing Lamar, who's a very valuable asset, and Lamar certainly knows that, not only on the field, but also off the field and everything like that, but they're also the agent that got somebody to believe that they should get an agent when they did not believe they should get an agent. So in the agent world, you're also the cock of the fucking walk, too. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like the people that would be lining up to represent Lamar, I think would be damn near the people that just make decisions for people, which is what some agents do, the way they work and talk. They're deciding things for people without people even knowing it. It's an incredible talent that some folks have.
Yeah, it is. I think, didn't Florio write something about this? Like the biggest, what's hurting, I guess, Lamar is like all the backdoor stuff that happens to where the agents can go and float stuff to the insiders. So they put out and they try to create a bidding war, even if you don't really have one out there. You try to claim like, hey, this guy has interest from all these teams. With Lamar, it's like the opposite. We thought the market was going to open up. Everyone's going to have these offers out there. And now it's like, no, actually, all these teams instantly come out and say, no, we're not interested.
Well, and the other part of it too is the money, like the $231 million. The one, team Tepper and the Panthers who haven't had a quarterback in, who have sucked ever since Tepper took over. Would he probably be maybe a little more timid because he's kind of still the new guy on the block with Walton in the owners club, and he doesn't want to piss everyone off?
I don't know. I don't think so. Like Haslam, right? Haslam.
Yeah, he's been there.
Haslam's like, fuck it. Haslam was literally, right? That's literally what Haslam did.
It changed the course of the quarterback position from forever. I feel like they were going to get. We knew it was going to come to this. They were going to get this much guaranteed money, but it wasn't supposed to happen right now, I guess.
Yeah, we really expedited. You know who did it? Fucking Mulligan.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
David Mulligan. Lamar.
Yeah, if you're Lamar.
Boom.
Yeah.
We know the guy. His name is David Mulligan. He's the one that got to 230 and changed.
Is that Mulligan? Is that Mulligan? As you're pointing out the Super Bowl.
At Radio Row, because the lights, the lights were. I didn't know. I didn't know he was repping C.J. Stroud. Like I'm very happy for C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Love everything that's going on there. So I see him walk off the stage or whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm like thinking of his Instagram photo, his little circle, and his Twitter photo, his little circle thing, and I'm like, if I'm wrong here though, I'm racist. You know what I mean? So this is it's a very
You were right.
But yeah, it was a big deal. That's why I had to continue to do it. Like, hold on, no. Because if I don't follow through on this, people are gonna think I was wrong, and it's like, whoa, what are you? Like I could be attacked. So as soon as I saw him, like, I think that's him. And if it is him, I would like to give him props. I would like to, in person, let him know that, like, hey, we've talked a lot about what you fucking did. You flipped the NFL owners into business right on its head out of nowhere with the hardest negotiation probably of all time. If you look back on everything that was going on, it's like that dude needs to be representing I've said this before, the United States of America in trade agreement conversations. That guy needs to be in there.
Agreed.
What an incredible negotiator. The way he speaks, I bet, is so good. Lays everything out. His brain's huge.
Yeah, and the contract. Remember the way it was structured. If he, was suspended for a season, he'd lose $900,000, and he'd still get the entire thing. But
yeah, the first year was a $900,000.
They have no outs.
Yeah,
the Browns have no outs.
No
either.
outs.
They don't have any outs in that deal. It's unbelievable when you think about it. How everything going into that deal, everything about the deal is just obviously unprecedented, as we like to say.
Atlanta was all in, right? That's why Cleveland had to do all that shit.
Right.
Because Cleveland was in, the Saints were in, right?
yeah, those are the last
Those
two.
are three.
And they were going. They were throwing everything. And Mulligan's like, Browns are out. Remember, they said the Browns were out.
Saints and Falcons.
Saints and Falcons are everything. That was publicly made. And then all of a sudden, overnight, Browns had to have gone, hey, what's it going to take? And Mulligan's is like, all right, let's put together the greatest contract in the history of contracts. Why not? It was, you don't want to go to Cleveland at all. It's cold as shit up there. Atlanta would be great, obviously. New Orleans would be great. Let's see what they say. And then they had to have just been like, yep, fuck it.
Fine.
We'll do it. That honestly, he had to write that contract, and they've just been like, this is going to be the greatest contract of all time because he had two other people competing at the same thing. He took advantage of it. That would be a great guy for Lamar.
Which is an unbelievable contract. But my point is, how Atlanta was all in
Boom, yeah.
just a year ago, and you telling me you don't want no parts of Lamar?
Makes no sense.
Not just Atlanta. Carolina was all in on that too.
Come on.
Yeah, the
This
commies.
is not making no sense to me.
Yeah, what's happening? What's
the
going
same
on?
teams that was in
So to work,
last year don't have a quarterback still right now today.
Still.
And telling me y'all have zero interest.
Is he more hurt than we might know, like the
think
knee
so.
injury?
you think there's information that we don't know?
Yeah, well, even at the end
Wouldn't
of
that
the
be out already, though?
Well,
That would
at
float
the end
out.
of the
That
season,
would get out.
Remember the end of the
Definitely would
season
get
where
out.
like, why isn't he playing in the playoff game? And then
teams look
Marlon
bad.
Humphrey was like, hey, this guy's limping around the facility, and no one knew that. That
That's
wasn't
true.
public information.
That's true. But at that point, it would only be one team that would speak, or Lamar, who doesn't have a team that would
Yeah.
speak. In this particular case, you would think that yesterday, whenever the Falcons came out quick through three different sources, boom, boom, I talked to the Falcons, they said no. Talked to the Falcons, they said no.
Lombardo.
Boom, Glazer too. Glazer was like, my sources tell me no in Atlanta. It's like, boom, boom, it was everywhere. I wonder what if it's a work?
Could
Has
be.
to-
That's what I thought
Is it a work?
initially.
No, if
Could be.
it's the body, first thing they gonna say is, come here. If you can pass the physical, we'll pay you.
They would announce it with that, though, right? Through those sources,
What?
due
I
to
don't know.
his injury speculation.
Right.
Because maybe
Yeah, these teams look terrible. The teams look terrible that instantly have said they're out. So they would absolutely float it out there if they knew something about his health that we don't know.
Dude, it has to be a work. Like, one of these teams that said they're not in is going to end up making them an offer, and we're going to be like, oh, they're back in. Do you think they're trying to drive down interest, do you think?
Of
Is this
course.
all like draft? You know, draft time.
Yes.
They lie about people that are going to get drafted. We don't like the way this guy's, you know, his PCL doesn't get talked about a lot. Actually, it looks like on our scan a little something. That gets leaked, and then the narrative potentially they're hoping gets built that person will drop 2 spots maybe, and then they're the ones who actually draft that person. This has happened in actual
smokescreen.
This is how
Tunsil.
called a smokescreen and everything. Also, a red.
Herring?
Is that something?
Yeah, red herring.
That's
is one,
something.
like,
I don't know if that's what we're
basically-
talking about.
It looks like it's
You don't
supposed to be like
wanna
a
fuck with
twist,
that.
but it essentially means nothing.
Anyways,
M.
yeah.
Night Shyamalan.
So, like, is this a work? Like, these teams are doing this so that people don't think
Well,
they're in?
I don't know, but what's the deadline? When is something going to happen?
March 15th, they got to be underneath the salary cap. Every team has to be, so they have to figure out what they have to do. The Ravens
But there's
are
a couple
good.
teams, right?
The
Couple teams,
5
if you don't have a
teams.
first round pick, you got to wait till after the draft, right?
We have the entire. We actually have everybody's current salary cap right now. There are teams that are going to have to do some work before next Wednesday. No, next Thursday.
Wednesday, 15th.
Wednesday, yeah.